Hey guys, Marshall from Limited Resources, and we're doing yet another draft for MTGOacademy.com. This one's going to be Cube. The Cube's back, and while we have a little bit of downtime until Gatecrash arrives on Magic Online, we're probably just going to be cubing. For those of you interested, there's also Zen World Wake drafts available. But there's more. I have a friend with me, and a coworker, and a guy who's an awesome Cube drafter, Rashad Miller. Hey, Rashad.
How you doing, Marshall? Doing
great, man. And you're going to be drafting with us, and I'm going to give you the reins as far as what we pick. You draft weird decks, stuff that I don't normally play, and I want to learn from you. So I'm saying that I might argue with you, but you get the final say in any of these picks. So what do you like out of this first pack?
Oh, man, I'm in complete control, unless you decide to click what I don't pick. But I don't think you'd do that.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, this is I've seen better packs to open.
Mm-hmm. I know what I'm looking at.
The only thing I really see is the mana accelerant, which is the Basalt Monolith, because one, it keeps us open, and two, going from 3 to 6/7 mana is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I see the same thing, man. That's the first card I looked at. There's other powerful cards in this pack, but really it's like Fact or Fiction or Monolith for me, and I like Monolith.
Yeah, I like Monolith too. I think that's a safe one just to snatch up right now.
Okay. It also keeps us open. We can go in any direction from there. All right, what do you think about this pack?
It's just about as exciting as the last one.
Yeah, it's not very good either. They made an adjustment back on the Cube. You know, they took out all the power cards and it made some adjustments. So I haven't drafted this one very much. I've done like a couple of small drafts and haven't had any success yet. So we'll have to see how the changes turn out.
Now, I think probably the more powerful card of these, it's hard to say. Like, I like Counterspell.
Yeah, Counterspell.
I kind of like Infernal Titan, but in past cubes, you could end up snatching up an Infernal Titan pretty late.
Yeah.
Infernal Titan goes better with our first pick. Counterspell is a better card. You know what, let's go with the Infernal Titan. If we're doing a Rashad draft, we can't
we're
just
doing
take
a Rashad
cards like
draft.
Counterspell.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be. Ooh, hell. Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah, that's a guy. I haven't actually played with that.
I like to draft themes sometimes too, like red cards that cost more than 5.
Oh no. I'm so scared right now.
Well, you know, I mean, these aren't cards that, like, your deck doesn't start at 4 and 5, but these are cards that if we end up being like the mono red deck, well, one, we probably won't play that Basalt Monolith in it, which is fine that we took it. But if we end up being like the mono red deck, these are finishers that red deck really needs to get that last, 5 to 6 points of damage that sometimes you need to do because a deck, like a actual control deck, stabilizes against you.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that like Hellkite can take out Planeswalkers or deliver that last big punch. It's just one of the most pushed cards power level we've had in a while.
Yeah,
I want to try it.
The Hellkite. And we're still open for, say, an Artifact / Big Red Wildfire deck.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't done that in the Cube. So what do you like here? Rite of Ruin is a card that it's pretty controversial that it's even in the Cube.
Yeah, I don't like that card. It doesn't do enough. I mean, it does a lot of things, and it does it to both players, but it's hard to develop a strategy where you are less affected by those things that are happening than your opponent is. Right. It usually ends up being exactly the most even type of card there is, or the, like, sacrificing 3 land or even 3 artifacts or 3 creatures or whatever it does, it just isn't enough.
That's right. So what do you like out of the picks? We've got about 10 seconds.
I don't want to play any of these cards. Maybe the Chrome Mox.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Let's just go with the Chrome Mox.
Because this Rorix, I don't even know why it's still in the Cube. That thing sucks. Ooh.
Bonfire is pretty sweet, especially if you actually mana up to make it a castable spell instead of having to rely on its miracle cost.
That's right. And making the miracle cost just pure upside is insane. I like Bonfire here, actually. It isn't good against every deck, but the decks that it's good against, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And, I mean, we can always just throw it under Chrome Mox if we don't get to the point where we can actually cast it for anything effective. That double X can be a little bit of a hindrance.
Oh, it certainly can.
And looking at all the other cards in this pack, There's a lot of good mono white cards. Like if we were mono white, either Angelic Destiny or that Mirren Crusader would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But Bonfire looks like a good one.
Okay.
Ooh,
Hey.
Wildfire. It's all coming together
You
now.
you just mentioned that, and all of a sudden, Wildfire,
Just
one of the two in the cube. They've
now.
got the portal one as well.
Yeah. So what we definitely want this Wildfire, and now we need to highly pick things like Thran Dynamo and Warren Power Stone. If those cards are still in the cube, I'm not one of those guys that looks at like the change list on the cubes, even though I probably should. I
Yeah.
usually just, do one or two cube drafts to figure out what I'm seeing and what I haven't seen so far.
Yeah, I usually will take a look at it before we do a show on it, like a podcast on it. But otherwise, I'm more similar to you, where I'll kind of get a vibe for it. So, talk to us a little bit about the Wildfire deck. What's its main goal?
Well, the goal is to get to 6 mana since that's what Wildfire costs. Um, you want to do it with artifact mana usually, and usually artifact mana that doesn't die from the Wildfire. Although
Yeah,
something like a Plane on Mirror is still really powerful because it allows you to, cast your Infernal Titans without, even if you don't have your Wildfire. So, but
right.
Mizzy Morning is pretty good too. That's sometimes tables, and it sort of does the same exact thing as a Wildfire is going to do in our deck. Um, so that's
Yeah.
actually, let's go with we're gonna go with the Palladium here.
Okay. Yeah, I
Uh,
think that
but what,
prioritizing that mana ramp is important here.
yeah, but what the Wildfire deck really wants to do, and this is gonna be one of those picks that you're gonna go, what? But we're gonna take that Vol Shock guy,
Because he has protection from
refugee.
wildfire.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. So just go ahead and right click it because I'm trying to keep up with the picks and explain the Wildfire deck. But basically, there's two Wildfires in the deck, and what Wildfire does is 4 damage to each creature, and each player sacrifices 4 land. And there's a card that's from one of the Portal. It's from Portal Three Kingdoms. That's exactly the same thing. So you want to build up a mass of artifact mana, which, for one thing, gets you to the 6 mana that you need to cast Wildfire, but also leaves you with the ability to cast spells after you've sacrificed the 4 land that you needed to do that. And it's
Right.
even gravy if you only have like 3 or 2 land because the rest of your mana sources are artifacts. And usually your opponent is left with no creatures and no land to cast spells. So let's take the Torch Fiend because
Man, what about
that's
Factor Fiction?
I don't think we're playing blue cards in this deck
Okay,
yet.
it's just going to be mono red.
I think it's probably going to be
I
mono
mean,
red. Counterspell is kind of, double blue is hard in these
no,
artifacts.
no, I know, but man, like, geez, how the heck did Counterspell get here?
I don't know. And the other packs that we saw, there weren't a lot of blue cards that were really
That is
blue
true.
that strong. Let's take the Molten Ring just in case we want to destroy something with it. I like Barbarian Ring. We could
Okay.
probably get Threshold. It's not necessarily a main deck card, but now I'd rather play Bituminous Blast over Rites of Ruin. Like I would probably splash for that. It's not the best card in the world, but
Yeah, I like Bituminous Blast a lot.
it's value, and I like value, and I know you like value.
I do indeed. We're not playing any of these.
This is garbage time. None of those cards are. Take the Mind Sensor. It's probably the best card. Ooh, Incinerate. Really? Really?
We'll take it.
Yeah, we're playing that Incinerate.
Yeah, that's sweet. Keep us alive. So basically, though, what you were saying about Wildfire, it ends up being sort of like a Wrath of God and an Armageddon all in one card.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
yeah. That's basically what it's supposed to do.
All right. I see the appeal to that.
Especially if you're prepared for it. If you're ready for it and they're not, Grand Dynamo.
We did open a Thran Dynamo. I'm going to highlight it, but let me know if there's I know this guy's awesome, but I don't know. I've never drafted the Wildfire deck, so I don't know how we rate creatures. I don't know how many colors this deck can run or how it really works. I'm assuming we just need Thran Dynamos.
Definitely need Thran Dynamos. Usually it's one color. It can be two. A lot of times that second color is blue, but like a card like Factor Fiction could go in it. We probably should have taken a Factor Fiction just in
All right.
case we end up being blue. But mono red is still fine. red, green is also an option for the wildfire decks.
Like if we get this back.
Yeah, if we get that back, that's actually pretty good because most of the times your Blood Braid Elf is going to hit like some type of artifact mana, and which is basically what you want to do. You want to build up a critical mass of that
Right.
so you can wildfire and win.
Okay. What do you like out of this pack? It's not a particularly great one, but there's some options.
There isn't a lot that catches my eye.
No, like this sucks in our deck, right? We don't want this.
Yeah, it's not really what we want. This is another time where we could start looking for splash options.
Shelldock Isle's awesome.
Shelldock Isle is pretty good. If we actually go with this splash black, Doomblade isn't the worst card.
No.
Balance is a pretty good card if you have a bunch of
that is a very powerful Magic card, yes.
Especially if we are at a low creature count.
Mm-hmm. Which right now we have 5, but like we're probably not going to main deck Torch Fiend.
You know what? Let's take the Doomblade.
Okay.
I don't think we need to try to splash balance at this time.
There's a Vampiric Tutor.
Vampire 2 is actually really good because it gives us another virtual wildfire.
Exactly.
There aren't any other real good cards.
No, there's not a whole lot coming around for us here, but let's take Vampiric and see where it goes. Ooh.
I like that Wormcoil engine. Survives wildfire, and it's an artifact creature, so it'd be pretty easy for us to cast.
Yeah. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, and it has the awesome factor too.
It's just super hard to deal with, and it does everything you want. Like if you're getting beaten down by aggro, it helps stabilize your board and get your life total back up. And if it's a control deck, they have to 2-for-1 themselves or even more sometimes to get rid of everything. I love that guy.
Let's go ahead and grab that one.
So still looking for like worn Power Stones and such as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever have too many of those.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Signets are all gone. I think Grim Monolith is gone. I'm not sure about Grim Monolith actually, but
actual worn Power Stone would be fine. And even like a Mind Stone or two or something of that effect would be okay.
Okay.
If the Signets were still in, this deck was really good with the Signets. Back in the cube, the Holiday Cube, just being able to Signet it to Wildfire was really powerful.
Okay. Yeah, it does seem amazing. Oh, man. Don't look.
Yeah, I see the Raphaelos.
I know you saw him.
It's too late to switch.
It is indeed. Or is it, actually? We're very early in pack 2 here.
No, it's too late.
Okay.
I wouldn't even try that.
All right. So what do you like, a Fire Spout here?
This is a pack full of cards that are kind of meh.
Just awful for us.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Spout it's fine.
I mean, it sweeps away a bunch of ground guys, keeps us alive.
I mean, the only other thing we could do is hate draft a card from this, and I don't think that we need to really do that. I think Fire Spout, we could just go ahead and grab that.
All right. Ooh.
I'm a fan of Avalanche Riders, and
I am too.
We have the land if we really want to go commit to this splash.
Indeed.
I think Avalanche Riders will table.
What? You're crazy.
It will. You know what? If Avalanche Riders doesn't table, maybe...
There's only going to be 2 cards left in this pack when it comes back to us.
Oh. Avalanche Riders is really powerful.
I just think we just take Riders here. I mean, we can... If we're a 2-color deck
Riders.
that's almost all red, it's not hard to fit
6
whatever swamps in there.
And there's our other Wildfire.
All right. So now we have both of them. Sweet. But we got to take Tibalt, right? I mean, 2-mana Planeswalker.
To be perfectly honest, that Wildfire will probably table. I'd say 9 out of 10 times it'll table, but I don't want to take that chance.
But you don't want to risk getting Laquatus as champion or
exactly.
the Loot House? Yeah.
Yeah, Laquatus' champion is definitely competing for that last slot.
Yes, he is. All right, what do you like here? Again, one of my favorite cards just really ever is Awakening Zone, but we're just not going to be in green, it seems.
No, and Apocryphite is actually a really, really good card. The fact that you can block something early and then it just becomes this 4/4, that's pretty tough to deal with. It's a lot more powerful in other types of decks. I like it a lot in like control decks. Like I'll throw it into
But
control.
yeah, but surviving both of our wildfires, I mean, virtually surviving it is pretty awesome.
That's definitely additional. That's a little bit of icing on top of the cupcake.
Oh, I do like cupcakes. Negate? I'm just guessing here. Negating one of our wildfires could be a pretty huge blowout for us.
Yeah, we definitely like none of these cards are going in our deck, so this is just taking away the card that we don't want to play against.
Right. This is
And
that pack that we didn't like the first time around, and I still don't like it. I mean, even a pretty reasonable card like Shackles isn't even a great cut for us because I don't think
right,
we're going to have an issue with that.
I think we just want to take the Mark War Marshal.
Okay.
It's actually really good against aggressive decks because it gives us like
Ah,
2 or 3 blocks.
okay.
Um, and technically it kind of survives a wildfire.
Cut
This
Mom.
um, Mom's pretty annoying.
Can save a dude from one of our wildfires, which could be bad. I don't know.
Yeah, let's get rid of her.
All right. Poor Mom.
Aw,
Yeah.
let's take a sink. I hate playing against that card. It's like the best of the pay X spells. Do you know what Power Sync does, right?
Yeah, like, doesn't it take all the mana or something?
Yeah, it forces you to tap out. Like it
Yeah.
forces you to try to pay as much. Yeah, let's take the counter spell. We'll just take
Yeah.
all the counter spells that we
Yeah.
see. Ooh, let's take the Swift Firewalker. We
Okay.
have a Mox. Maybe we can get somebody.
Okay. Ooh, All Sun's Dawn. So somebody took the champion.
We didn't even realize All Sun's Dawn was actually gonna win that slot.
Yeah, I looked at it. I just didn't think that it would still be there of that pack, but looks like somebody needed a champion on their side.
Hey, you have to be a winner somehow, right?
It's true. Ooh. Okay. So there's a few options for us here, I think. I saw this pristine talisman as one that it still feels like we need these artifact ramp spells pretty
Yeah,
pretty
it's actually,
desperately.
yeah, it's actually an option. Um, and the thing is, like the Olivia and maybe even the Bone Shredder will table.
Mm-hmm. Bone Shredder's sweet too.
Yeah, Bone Shredder is really good. Not exactly like we don't really get a lot of value out of it. It's just a dark banishing for us, or terror, I guess it actually is. There's a lot of other decks that can get way more value out of it being a creature, but we would just happily use it as come to play, kill a guy, and chump block something.
What's a
But
typical win con for the Wildfire deck?
just some big red dude,
Okay.
usually.
Just something like what we have here.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay.
definitely have already the type of win conditions that these decks want. I think we're going to go with the talisman.
Okay.
Um, And really, you can win with anything after you wildfire and your opponent can't do anything. Like if your opponent can't play Magic, then I mean, you don't have to take a lot of doesn't take a lot of effort to win that
Right.
game.
Okay. Got a couple of options here. There's a Terminate and an Innocent Blood if we're worried about creatures getting us. There's also a Wasteland, which is, I think, usually a really good pickup. I tend to go for these type of cards mainly because anytime you can take a land that you're for sure going to play, it just means that like you get to play more of the cards that you drafted, and that seems good to me. There's also one of the more powerful creatures in the cube
Yeah,
with
that's what I was kind of staring at. But I
yeah.
was also looking to see how easily we can get to 10. That one costs 10, right?
He does cost 10, yeah. We actually don't have a huge issue getting to 10 because we have Basalt Monolith and Thran Dynamo, but we don't have a ton of these type of things around. But I think we could get to 10 definitely during the course of a game.
I'm fine with taking the Kozilek just so we have another win condition.
Sweet. I like it. I mean, he's just awesome. All right, we've got a Brimstone Volley, a Rolling Earthquake, which is interesting. There's also a Void over here, which we could cast, or an Ingot Chewer.
Ingot Chewer is actually bad for us. We don't really want to play against it, but I'm willing to guess that whatever deck picks that Ingot Chewer up isn't going to be playing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Rolling Earthquake is a pretty good card because it basically just kills everything.
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually any cards with horsemanship in this cube.
Yeah, so it just like kills any creatures. I like Rolling Earthquake, and we're gonna have a bunch of mana.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, if we're playing that against an aggressive deck, we're also taking X damage,
That's true.
which could be an issue.
It is
But
true.
let's go with the Rolling Earthquake. I like it.
All right.
I don't know that we need to splash black. One of the main reasons I wanted to splash back was so that we can play the Vampiric Tutor as well. But having both
Yeah.
of the wildfires means we might not need to do that.
Yeah, if we take that out, we lose Vampiric, which is less important now that we have both of them. We lose Doomblade and we lose Bituminous Blast, but I mean, those are good cards. Like Bituminous Blast seems really good in our deck, but at the same time, I don't know. They don't. None of them seem entirely necessary. They're not like linchpins. Oh man, there's a Frost Titan. Ugh, so good.
Yeah. Looking at this pack, I'm looking at that Lava Claw Reaches because, none of these other cards really are that important to this archetype.
Yeah, Gargadon doesn't go in this deck at all, right?
No, there's really nothing that you're going to be sacrificing.
Okay.
And that Lava Claw Reaches gives us another way to quote unquote win the game. But
Yes.
having that free buff red splash is pretty sweet.
Excuse me.
That's you.
What do you like here? There's actually some kind of cool stuff here. Fire Blast.
I like Fire Blast.
Yeah, but there's also a Shrine of Burning Rage, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because we can drop it and just let it go forever, and then it can be our win condition,
That's
it only costs 3 mana to activate it. We're going to be playing red spells. It's interesting to think about it at least. But Fire Blast is just awesome.
I think I like the Fire Blast because
All right.
being able to, hey, if we're going to Wildfire and we have 4 land and we have a Fire Blast and if there's a 5 toughness creature out there that we need to deal with, that's
Have you played
that'll
this
help
yet?
us do.
Chaos
Now,
Warp.
I've seen good things happen with Chaos Warp. Never for me, usually against me.
It seems really good to me. Like you just get to take any permanent and shuffle it away, and then sometimes they get another permanent that's
Well,
random.
I usually just target my own permanents with it.
Just gamble.
Yeah, but actually, it's actually really good against things like control magic because you get to get the permanent if you do it against. Let's take the Chaos Warp.
Okay.
But if you Chaos Warp a creature that you own because it shuffles into the owner's library, and then you get to get something back
Oh, okay. Potentially. Some reasonable stuff here. I'm not sure what you like out of this pack. I mean, Hellspark seems a little aggressive for what we're doing, and Ramgang kind of does as well, but Ramgang's like a pretty solid value creature as well. What do you like here?
I really don't like either of those cards. I don't like the casting cost on Ramgang.
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely get 3 mountains, but our deck may be built in a way that we don't. So I think we just hate something like that Venser. Just
Yeah.
get the Venser out of there.
Ooh. What does this do?
That it morphs for discard a card, and it becomes a 5/5 if you have no cards in your hand.
That seems reasonable, but this guy's awesome.
Yes, I mean Siege Gang can just win a game.
Yeah.
It's just
Sometimes you just play Siege Gang and just win, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, get in there. And we have hit to point of the draft where there's really nothing left for us. You like hating counter spells? You like hating aggressive cards? Do you like taking a card that we might play?
Maybe we could take the processor. Then maybe we may end up in a matchup where it's really good.
Okay. Like if we're playing against like a mono blue deck or a real controlling deck or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Mastercore here also.
All
Although
right.
Innocent Blood is a reasonable card.
Innocent Blood's awesome. But I guess our deck is really designed so that we don't need a card like Innocent Blood, right? Like,
Yeah, and Mastercore can regenerate through the Wildfire. Let's just grab the Mastercore. You probably won't play it, but
ooh, we got Void back and Ingot Chewer.
ooh, let's just take the Void. I'm willing to gamble that Ingot Chewer will not be castable.
Okay.
Let's just take Engineered Explosives.
None of these are even
I'm not a fan of Gargadon at all, especially in this deck.
Oracle's not going to be big enough for us. This is irrelevant and lame.
Pete.
Yeah.
Black Vice. Maybe we'll get somebody.
All right. Okay. We have a deck. It's going to be interesting to build this one because we're going to make some pretty serious cuts to what we have shown here.
Yeah, I'd really would have liked to see more artifact mana.
Yeah, we actually ended up with a reasonable amount with the good ones with Thran Dynamo Monolith, and then we also have the Talisman and the Palladium Mirror, which are like less good. But yeah, we don't have a lot of them. Not a big number.
Yeah, but we took all the ones we saw. So
we did.
This is
we took. I mean, we took Pristine Talisman first. So yeah, we took them all.
Hey, we need the life gain, right?
It helps. Every bit helps. Okay.
Let's build this deck.
So let's start moving stuff down. So
first, start with the artifacts. Throw all those in.
All right. So Chromox too.
Yeah, we're playing Chromox.
All right, not Black Vice, but yes. Mastercore for sure, or maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll put him in the maybe pile. Processor, maybe.
For sure.
And this is a
no. That's a sideboard, definitely.
Yeah. So that's what the artifacts look like.
That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's not that good. I mean, it's not like, right, you're not looking at it like, yay, we got everything we wanted. This is going to be sweet. But at the same time, you're like, no, this can work. All right, so wildfires are in. I'm assuming like riders and our big guys are in.
Yeah.
Incinerate's probably in.
Incinerate's in.
Or do we want Earthquake and Bonfire?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, let's throw them both in for now, and we'll see what it looks like.
Okay, this is what it looks like right now. This is with 7 creatures. And I don't have the Molten Rain in there. I don't have the Refugee, the Warp, the Slith Firewalker, Torch Fiend, Geopede, War Marshal. I don't have either of the 2 black cards, and we really have 4 black cards here that we could consider.
How's our Bituminous Blast looking? We can hit Avalanche Riders, Thran Dynamo, more artifact mana.
Incinerate, Apocryphite, and a Chromox.
The
Chromox is awkward, but everything else is really good. Right? I mean, we'd want to hit any of these.
Yeah. So, and we only have 1 black mana fixing.
That's right.
That's not that bad. What other, and none of those other red cards. I want to put the pro red guy in.
Okay. Refugee.
So now.
So if we're going to run black, do we automatically run Vampiric?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay. So that's it. This is with 20. How do you count Chromox as far as lands go?
Chromox is a land.
Okay, so we'll put it with our lands here. That's 19.
Oh, we need some more cards in here.
Yeah, and we have options here. I mean, we've got the Doomblade, we've got Void.
Put both of those in there.
Okay.
Void and Doomblade.
Those are powerful cards, especially Void. Void can do some serious work.
Yeah, I think we could probably put in Kozilek.
Okay.
I don't think that guy's going to give us any. That's the draw 4 cards one, right?
Yeah, he is a draw 4 cards and Annihilator 4. He's a 12/12 for 10.
And that's 22, huh?
That is 22.
So we want probably. How many artifact sources we have?
We're
playing 17 land.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think this is a 17 land deck.
Okay. So we need 1 more playable here. We've got a lot of choices. There's Molten Rain. There's the Chaos Warp to deal with, just like random permanents that we can't deal with. I don't think we want Firewalker or Geopede or anything like that. War Marshal if we're really worried about aggro. There's also just Fire Spout, just if we're worried about getting beaten down.
Let's just go with the Chaos Warp.
Okay. I've never played that card.
Let's throw a random element in this deck.
I kind of like it, and I've never played this card, so I'm curious to do that. We don't want Mastercore, right?
Mastercore is fine, but how many creatures do we have? 9?
Yeah.
I don't.
I would lean towards no myself.
We should just save Mastercore for matches where it's really good because we don't really have any card advantage to keep up with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we're not getting actual super value out of it, it's not worth the upkeep.
That makes sense. Now, as far as lands go, we want the Chromox, the Reaches. Do we want Barbarian Ring?
Um,
It's a shock. We have to sacrifice it. Otherwise, it does damage to us the whole time.
yeah, and we need to have Threshold in order to use it.
Yeah. I'd lean towards not, but I don't play this
I
card.
don't think
so.
we need it.
Okay. So let's see what Moto says. It says 12-3, which seems a little aggressive. We actually don't even... Our red is all up in the top end here besides the Refugee. So, like, it's not even, like, a huge concern. I mean, I think we could go to, like... And we've also got Reaches. That gives us 11 red sources. Well, do we count Chromox as just, like, a any color land?
Chromax is probably just going to be a mountain.
Okay.
It's seldom that we're going to put
Oh,
any
right,
of those
'cause
black cards under there unless we
that's
really
right.
need to cast unless we really need to cast, Vampiric Tutor and we have a void in our hand and we're never going to cast.
Yeah, if we did 10-5, that would leave us with 12 red sources and 6 black sources.
That's fine. I think
Okay.
that's fine.
So there it is. A deck based around this card. All right, so let's give it a shot and see what this thing can do.